There is an island so thick with venomous snakes that the government has made it a crime to set foot on it. Some say there are 5 deadly vipers for every square meter of ground. There is another island where a tribe that has lived in total isolation for 50,000 years will kill you on sight, with bows and arrows, the moment you touch the sand, and it's perfectly legal for them to do it. And there is a vault carved deep into a frozen mountain, built to survive the end of the world, that you will never, ever be allowed inside. There are places on Earth, right now, in our connected, satellite-mapped world, where you are absolutely forbidden to go. Some are sealed off to protect you from what's inside. Some are sealed to protect what's inside from you. And some are locked for reasons that governments would simply rather you didn't ask about. In this video, we're going to stand at the edge of 5 of them and look at exactly what's on the other side of the line you're not allowed to cross. We begin with the single most dangerous patch of ground on the planet. 1. Snake Island, the most forbidden ground on Earth. Off the coast of Brazil, about 90 miles from the bustling city of São Paulo, sits a green, rocky island that looks, from a distance, like paradise. Sunlit forest, rugged cliffs, the blue Atlantic breaking against the rocks. Tourists on the mainland can see it on the horizon, and not a single one of them is allowed to go there. Its real name is Ilha da Queimada Grande. The world knows it by a different name, Snake Island. And it may be the most genuinely lethal piece of land on the face of the earth. The island is the only home of a serpent that exists nowhere else on the planet, the golden lancehead pit viper. It's a beautiful, pale gold snake, and it is staggeringly venomous. Its venom is so potent it can kill a human in under an hour, and it's powerful enough to melt the flesh around the bite. These snakes evolved their monstrous strength in isolation, hunting the migratory birds that land on the island, needing to kill them fast before they could fly away. And there are not a few of them. Estimates of the population run into the thousands, by some counts as many as 1 to 5 snakes for every single square meter of the island. Imagine that. Step off the boat and you are never more than a stride or 2 from a bite that can dissolve your flesh and stop your heart. This is why the Brazilian Navy has made it a crime to even set foot there. The only humans permitted to land are a handful of scientists with special permission, and even then, the rules require a doctor to come along with antivenom in case the worst happens. There's a legend passed around for decades. The last lighthouse keeper, supposedly killed when snakes poured in through the windows of his home. Whether every detail is true almost doesn't matter, because the truth of the island is frightening enough on its own. It's a paradise nature turned into a fortress of venom, a rare place where the thing forbidding your entry isn't a government or an army. It's the ground itself. 2. North Sentinel Island, the island that fires back. Now we travel to the Indian Ocean, to an island in the Andaman chain that looks even more like a tropical dream. White sand, turquoise water, dense green jungle. But North Sentinel Island is guarded by something far more formidable than snakes. It is guarded by people. And those people have made it unmistakably clear, for as long as the outside world has known they exist, that any visitor will be met with one response: violence. The island is home to the Sentinelese, one of the very last uncontacted tribes left on Earth, believed to have lived here in complete isolation for around 50,000 years, descendants of some of the first humans to leave Africa, who rejected the entire rest of human history. They want nothing to do with the modern world, and when boats or aircraft come too close, they emerge onto the beach and fire arrows. This isn't ancient legend, it is the documented present. The Indian government has drawn an exclusion zone around the island and made it illegal to approach, partly to protect the outside world's curiosity seekers, but mostly to protect the tribe itself, because a people isolated for 50,000 years have no immunity to common diseases, and a single cold or flu carried in by an outsider could wipe them out entirely. The danger is not theoretical. In 2018, a young American missionary paid local fishermen to take him near the island, determined to make contact and convert the Sentinelese. He went ashore. He never came back, killed on the beach by the very people he was trying to reach. His body, by all accounts, was never recovered because no one can safely go and get it. Think about what North Sentinel Island really represents. In an age of satellites and smartphones, where every other inch of the globe has been mapped and monetized, there is a small green island where an entire human society lives exactly as it has for 50,000 years. And they have drawn a line in the sand and defended it so fiercely that the most powerful governments on Earth have simply agreed to leave them alone. It is the one place modern humanity has chosen not to conquer, but to walk away from. Forbidden, not by us, but by them. The first two places are forbidden by raw physical danger, venom and arrows, threats you can see coming. The next one is different. It's guarded by secrecy itself, by one of the most powerful governments on Earth, and what it's hiding may be far stranger than any snake. 3. Area 51. The base that didn't officially exist. In the high desert of Nevada, surrounded by nothing but dust, mountains, and silence, there is a military base so secret that for most of its existence, the United States government refused to admit it was even there. No tourists, no journalists, no public roads. Just a remote airfield ringed by warning signs, motion sensors, and security forces authorized to use deadly force against anyone who crosses the line. Its official designation has shifted over the years, but the world knows it by one name, whispered in 1,000 conspiracy theories. Area 51. Here is what is solidly known. Area 51 is a highly classified U.S. Air Force facility, and for decades it was a top-secret site for testing the most advanced aircraft in the world. Cold War spy planes, the U-2, the Blackbird, and revolutionary stealth technology were tested in these skies, precisely because the location was so isolated that enemy eyes could never see what was being built. The government didn't even formally acknowledge the base's existence until 2013. To this day, what goes on inside remains classified, and the airspace above it is completely closed. And of course, that's exactly the kind of vacuum that fills with legend. Because the government hid this place so completely for so long, the human imagination rushed in to fill the silence, and Area 51 became the global capital of one idea above all others, that somewhere inside, the military is hiding a crashed alien spacecraft and the bodies of its non-human pilots, reverse engineering technology from another world. Decades of reported sightings of strange craft in the area only poured fuel on the fire, though skeptics point out that a base built specifically to fly secret, impossible-looking aircraft would naturally generate exactly those sightings. So which is it? Bleeding-edge human technology, too sensitive to reveal, or something that didn't come from this Earth at all? The honest position is that the proven secrets, the spy planes, the stealth jets, are remarkable enough on their own, but the base remains sealed, the deadly force signs remain posted, and the full truth of what's out there in the desert is still locked behind a fence you are absolutely forbidden to cross. And a secret kept that well for that long will always leave people wondering what else is behind it. 4. The Lascaux Cave, the forbidden masterpiece. Not every forbidden place is sealed by danger or secrecy. This next one is locked away for the opposite reason, because it is so precious and so fragile that the simple act of a human being standing inside it and breathing was slowly destroying one of the greatest treasures our species has ever made. Deep beneath a hillside in southwestern France lies the Lascaux Cave, and on its walls is some of the most breathtaking art ever created by human hands, painted not decades or centuries ago, but roughly 17,000 years ago. When 4 teenage boys stumbled into the cave in 1940, following their dog down a hole, they discovered a hidden gallery that rewrote our understanding of our own ancestors. Across the cave's walls and ceilings sprawl over 600 paintings and nearly 2,000 engraved figures, great bulls, horses, stags, and bison, rendered in rich reds, blacks, and ochres, captured in motion with a confidence and beauty that would not shame a modern artist. These were made by Ice Age people, thousands of years before farming, before writing, before the wheel. People we were taught to imagine as grunting savages, who turn out to have been brilliant artists with a sophisticated visual language. The cave became known as the Sistine Chapel of prehistory, and after the war, the public flooded in, more than 1,000 visitors a day. And that flood of visitors was, quietly, a catastrophe. Every person who walked into Lascaux exhaled carbon dioxide, warmth, and moisture into an environment sealed and stable for 17,000 years. That breath, multiplied by thousands, changed the cave's delicate climate, and soon a creeping plague of algae, then white mold, then black stains spread across the priceless paintings. The very love of the public was killing the thing they came to see. So, in 1963, France did the only thing it could. It sealed Lascaux shut, banning the public forever. Today, only a tiny handful of specialists are permitted inside, a few days a year, in carefully controlled conditions, still fighting to hold back the mold. Everyone else must visit a painstakingly built replica next door. The original, the real thing, those actual strokes laid down by an Ice Age hand, sits in sealed darkness, forbidden, protected from the one species that made it and the one species that would, just by looking, destroy it. 5. The Svalbard Seed Vault, the door at the end of the world. We end in the frozen Arctic, far to the north of Norway, where a single gray concrete wedge juts out of the side of a snow-covered mountain on the remote island of Spitsbergen. There are no crowds here, no guards with guns, no venomous snakes, just ice, silence, and a heavy door leading deep into the permafrost. A door built to stay locked against you and against the end of the world. This is the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, and people have given it a darker, more fitting nickname, the Doomsday Vault. Its purpose is as simple as it is staggering. Buried roughly 100 meters inside the mountain, in frozen chambers, the vault stores over 1 million different samples of the world's crops, gathered from nearly every country on Earth. Wheat, rice, beans, potatoes, the genetic backbone of human agriculture, sealed in the cold and the dark. It is, in essence, a backup drive for the food supply of the entire human species. The idea is that if catastrophe ever strikes, a global war, a pandemic, a climate disaster, the collapse of crops across whole continents, humanity has a vault locked in the Arctic ice, holding the seeds to grow our food all over again and start the world's agriculture from scratch. It was deliberately built in one of the most remote, geologically stable, naturally frozen places on the planet, designed to survive earthquakes, explosions, even the slow rise of the seas, keeping its precious contents safe for centuries. And precisely because its mission is so important, the vault is sealed to the public with near total strictness. You cannot tour it, you cannot buy a ticket. Only a tiny number of authorized personnel are ever permitted through that door, and only on specific occasions, when new seeds are deposited. The rest of the time, it sits alone in the snow, locked, watching over the future. A place forbidden not because it's dangerous, and not because it's secret, but because it is, quite literally, too important to risk. It is humanity's insurance policy against its own extinction. A vault of life waiting at the top of the world for a doomsday we hope never comes. And of all the forbidden doors on Earth, it may be the only one we should pray we never have to open. So look at the 5 lines we just stood at the edge of. An island where the ground itself is a carpet of venom. An island where the last people of the deep past will kill to keep their world untouched. A desert base hiding secrets a superpower won't fully reveal. A cave holding humanity's oldest masterpiece, sealed because our very breath destroys it. And a frozen vault guarding the seeds of life against the end of the world. 5 doors, each locked for a completely different reason: danger, isolation, secrecy, preservation, and survival. And together they break the comfortable illusion we all carry. The idea that the age of exploration is over, that there's nothing left on this planet we can't reach. There is. Right now, in our mapped and monitored and photographed world, there are places where the line is absolute, where nature, or a tribe, or a government, or the fragile weight of history itself says no, and means it. Some forbidden places protect us from what's inside. Some protect what's inside from us. And the most interesting ones make you realize that forbidden isn't always about danger. Sometimes it's the highest form of respect, or fear, or hope that human beings are capable of. We are a species that has walked on the moon and sent machines beyond the solar system, and yet there are still doors on our own planet that we cannot or must not open. Maybe that's not a failure. Maybe a world with no forbidden places left would be a poorer one. A world with no mystery, no danger, nothing held sacred or secret or safe. Some lines, it turns out, are worth not crossing. See you next time.